Hi, this is Josh Soy, and this is part 8 in the CS1000 training series. This video is just covering the CS1000 software upgrade process. Every once in a while it's good to check for new updates on the CS1000 software because periodically we're going to put up bug fixes as well as speed optimizations and new functionality that will be very helpful to you. So to upgrade your CS1000 software, you want to open up SeeSnake HQ, which comes along with it in the disk that comes in the box. And you go to Tools, and then go to Device Manager. And you'll see that you can upgrade either the software on LT1000 or CS1000. Obviously, you want to click CS1000. Now what this is going to do is it's going to start downloading the firmware. And this will download to your hard drive and then allow you to transfer off to the thumb drive. Okay, now that our firmware update is downloaded, what you're going to need to do is plug your thumb drive into one of your USB ports, and it'll eventually show up in the list down here at the bottom. As you can see, the firmware updates are about 120 megs, so depending on your connection speed it may take a little while, so you might want to walk away from it for a little while. But once that thumb drive shows up on there, and it actually imported an old job, but anyways, you go ahead and hit copy, and it'll say the file already exists for me because I've already got updates on my thumb drive. But you go ahead and hit yes, it'll give you a little status as it copies over to the thumb drive. Now, as I was saying earlier, the updates aren't absolutely necessary for you to put on here, but we are continually making improvements to the CS1000 and how fast it boots up, how stable it is, all of that. So one of the advantages of having the software-based system on the CS1000 is that we can continue to make improvements, and we will put out new versions of the software every once in a while that'll allow you to do more things with the CS1000, as well as making sure that it is rock solid stable out in the field. So we're going to go ahead and wait for this to copy. It always helps to have USB 2.0 ports as well. USB 1.0 copies a lot slower. USB 2.0 should just take, a matter of a few seconds to copy over. So once this one is done, what we're going to do is we're going to move over to our CS1000 and boot it up. So let it go and start all the way up before we do anything to it, and then all we're going to do is insert our thumb drive. As you can see here, there's instructions. Plug the thumb drive in, CS1000, turn it on, and then it'll do the transferring and it'll finish up. We're going to do it a little bit different order just so you can actually see on the screen what happened. Okay, I've transferred all my information onto my thumb drive and now booted up my CS1000. You can also actually put the thumb drive in before the CS1000 boots up, and it will detect it as soon as it's already booted up. Once I stick the thumb drive in there, you'll see a process happening that's similar to when you're exporting. And once that loads it up, you'll see that there is an option to upgrade. The version that's on the CS1000 I'm using right now is 1.056. This is 1.068, so it's a step up. You just hit your select button and tell it to upgrade. And it's going to bring up the status window that shows you what the status is on the upgrade. Now as this bar goes along, you'll see that it copies, it extracts, it then verifies it and installs the update. And then it's going to go and ask you to go ahead and it'll shut down the CS1000. Once you bring it back up, your CS1000 should be upgraded at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording right now, and we'll resume this when it gets a little bit farther along. Okay, after our short pause, we're getting pretty close to being done with copying, extracting, and verifying. So you're going to see success reboot to update, and then you say continue update. And it's going to shut itself down, and then it will start a complete fresh reboot on here. So I'm going to go ahead and pause again until that finishes. Okay, once we're booted back up again, you'll see that there is an option. You can skip the update that we just installed on there, or go ahead and do the full update. I'm going to go ahead and click on full update. And this could take upwards of 15 minutes to finish. But you'll see a copying process here that'll have multiple steps to it, and you can pretty much just walk away from the CS1000 while it's happening, coming back. And then I'm going to go ahead and pause it again, and we'll resume once this part of the process is done. Okay, my CS1000 did finish the update process, and it will actually shut off after those 9 bars are completed that we saw just a few minutes ago here. And it'll have you reboot, and this time after you reboot the CS1000 and it comes all the way up, it'll be on the new version of the software. So in order to check that, we'll go in here to the I under settings, and you see that we're on version 1.068. Now this update process isn't going to happen all that often, probably every 3 months at the beginning here, and then it'll move to every 6 months or so later. But you will need to check in HQ for new updates that come out, because some of them are pretty valuable. You'll get new functionality, more stability, and we'll fix some bugs in some of the programs. So, for more information on the full line of Ridgid products, visit the Ridgid forum at www.ridgidforum.com. Here you'll find over 30,000 industry professionals who give reviews, answer questions, discuss tips and tricks, and just general information. If you scroll down, you'll find a section called Ridgid Central, where all the products that have been launched in the last 2 years have a specific section where you can go in there and find information and discuss the products and even ask questions to the Ridgid staff.